begin asymptomatic testing.
Several student organizations at FGCU
and we're going to play Guess the Song.
Hello, welcome to Hanging with the Executives here at the Bauer School of Music.
And you're watching ENTV.
Hi guys, and welcome back to our last episode of Hard Hitters for this year, and for most of us, our last ever episode of Hard Hitters. So, a sad time in the Hard Hitters Nation. But we have our Super Bowl recap for you guys. We had the Rams versus the Bengals. Tyler, we got it right.
Yes,
of
we
course,
did.
With the Rams,
I was 1 point off. I was 1 point off.
You
on
were.
that. Yeah.
You predicted that really well, actually. But unfortunately, Carson's Bengals lost 23-30. Carson, what are your thoughts? My condolences to you.
Listen, we weren't supposed to be here. We were a rebuilding team that was supposed to win like 6 games this year. So the fact that we made it to the Super Bowl at all, I'm very proud of this team for. We made it there without an O-line basically. So now if we go get Joe Burrow an O-line, I feel like we'll be back sooner rather than later.
Definitely. I mean, you could be the Dolphins' rebuilding year. We see how that went for them.
Rebuilding year? It should be years.
Years.
Plural.
It's half a century.
Yeah. But I mean, this was a really close game. It was a one-scoring game. And so before the Rams scored that winning touchdown, it looked like it could really be anyone's game. And the Bengals still had that lead, which I'm sure you were very happy in that moment.
Yes.
But I mean, Cooper Kupp for the win, honestly, with that minute 25 left in the game, that 1-yard pass to Matthew Stafford was just amazing, even you have to admit. But what do you guys think about that last play?
I mean, it's kind of poetic justice on who was guarding Cooper Kupp at the same time as a game-winning catch, and I'm sure you'll get into that. So I'm going to let you go ahead and just expose him real quick after.
Yeah. So Eli Apple didn't play a horrible game, but until the very end, I just seriously question why Eli Apple was the one on Cooper Kupp with the game on the line. I don't think he's an awful cornerback. I think he gets burnt a lot more often than other cornerbacks, but for most of the game, no one was saying his name because he was locking down whoever he was on. He just unfortunately had to be the guy on Cooper Kupp at the end.
The other thing too is he just doesn't turn around at all. Like, I don't understand.
Both of the touchdown catches, he was just still facing the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, maybe if he turns around next year, those are stops.
I remember just screaming at the TV, turn around, turn around. He had it right there in the line of sight, but he just didn't turn around. And
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, an Eli Apple a day keeps it, the Super Bowl wins away. So.
Thank you, Sarah. That didn't hurt at all.
Sorry, Carson. But another major factor in this game was the refs, too. We saw the refs weren't really playing much of a role throughout most of this game, and then at the very end, when it got down to it, they were making calls left and right, and it was like, where did you come from?
I mean, how many times have we seen this throughout the history of the NFL? This seems like a regular thing now in big games. Yeah. No calls. You got, what was it, the T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd?
The T. Higgins face mask
on Jalen Ramsey that didn't get called. The holding Jalen Ramsey had earlier on a third down that didn't get called. And then all of a sudden, the refs feel that they got to over-adjust and make a call on Logan Wilson. Yeah. Logan Wilson, that was honestly probably one of the worst calls that you could have made in that situation. And then after that, I just had a sense that first and goal, the Rams are going to take the clock down, take the win the Super Bowl. And it's just a regular thing at this point with the refs. Like, they just got to feel that they got to over-adjust because they were literally calling nothing in the beginning.
The calls that were not happening all game, especially the Logan Wilson one's the one I really asphyxiated on, was that was not holding. That was just him trying to make a play on the ball, and that was on a third down and the 8-yard line. So they don't call that. It's 4th and 8. The Bengals defense has to make one more stop. Instead, they get the call. They have to make 4 more stops, and it didn't happen. I just didn't think that was a good holding call, and I just don't understand why they decided to call everything in the final 2 minutes. It just, I'm not trying to say like the NFL's rigged or whatever. I know there's some people on Twitter saying that, but I'm not trying to say that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense why there were no calls for the majority of the game, and then at the very end they decided to call everything.
But I mean, it was also almost an overtime game too, and so if the Bengals did scoring and they tied it 30-30, I wonder what that would have looked like, especially when we talked about the coin toss a little bit before. Could the Bengals have potentially tied it up, won the coin toss, and won the whole Super Bowl? What do we think?
I think so. I mean, like you said, they would have tied it up 23-23. There was that 4th and 1. at the very end of the game, where if Joe Burrow had literally even one more second, Jamar Chase had Jalen Ramsey beat like 40 yards down the field. Jalen Ramsey literally fell. So Jamar Chase would have walked that ball right into the end zone and tied it up with like 20 seconds left. So it really came down to that Bengals O-line just not being able to block Aaron Donald or the Rams D-line all night. Joe Burrow got sacked, what, like 7
He almost broke a record. He either broke the record or tied it. I remember he was at 7 when he went down with that scary fall.
Yeah.
And almost came out of the game. But, willpower, he came back in and almost won the Super Bowl. But, yeah, like you said, the O-line, that whole second half, outside of the first minute where the Bengals just went absolutely nuts with that interception and the touchdown, outside of that, it was just a punt fest from the offense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of injuries too. A lot of scary injuries. Like we saw, like even Joe Burrow, we weren't sure of at one point, but we had like OBJ with his knee injury for like the beginning, like the first half of the Super Bowl. Like that's gotta be rough. And he didn't play the rest of the game.
Yeah, you can see him in tears on the sideline. That hurt him his first time to the Super Bowl. At least they won, but it still comes out with, I think it's confirmed, a torn ACL. So on the same knee too, I think.
It was the same knee he previously tore his ACL in.
Yeah, so hopefully he gets healthy for next season.
And then Matthew Stafford was limping at one point.
Yeah, both quarterbacks got abused that game. It was not good.
Yeah, which I thought was going to be one of the Bengals' key wins to the game is to protect Joe Burrow, and we saw him get sacked an unbelievable amount, 6-7 times. Like that's crazy, and I thought that was going to be one of the things that they were going to try to avoid. Do you think that had any effect on them not winning?
The O-line? Yeah, definitely.
I mean, them not protecting Burrow specifically.
Well, I mean, there were several opportunities where earlier on in the game, they were using the running back as an extra protector, and it was working. And then I don't know why they decided to see it work and be like, you know what, let's change it up.
Never mind.
Yeah, they had a great pass blocking scheme in the first half and then just completely went away from it in the second half. Instead of keeping a tight end or a running back in the backfield, they started bringing in a fifth offensive lineman, and it just went downhill. And Joe Burrow, regular season, postseason combined total, was sacked 70 times this year.
Jeez.
That's the third most in NFL history, in a single, 70 times he was sacked. And this is coming off his knee basically being redone. I really don't want Burrow to be the next Andrew Luck, who just retires before he even turns 30 because the front office didn't get him an O-line till too late. So I just really hope the Bengals just buy basically an entirely new offensive line this offseason.
Yeah, that's your key thing this offseason.
Yeah, and teaching Joe Burrow how to slide.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this very last episode of Hard Hitters for most of us and for the season. Thank you all for watching, for all the videos that you have watched, and there will be a next season with Carson and Nick, and so please tune into that.